If you can imagine things not being the way that they currently are, then polymer science is for you.
The polymer science community is fairly small, and we all know each other, even worldwide. For example, Mariva's from France, Nancy's from Virginia, and Jamie is from Boston, originally from Seattle.
When I first came to IBM, I definitely expected people to be more rigid about their jobs than they are. You know, it's not that you have to sit and focus on one thing in particular, but instead there's people in all areas of expertise and you can branch out to talk to and create new projects and be creative with.
It's like little island of like expertise. Everyone is like an expert in something and is really open to like do science all together, and that's pretty cool.
It's really an open book here. We can kind of do whatever we find interesting. There was really a space where creativity could just flourish. Jim has a very outgoing, very open personality. He's hilarious, and I think that relaxed attitude that he has really kind of permeates the whole area that we're in and our whole group.
About 15 years ago, he discovered that you could use organic catalysts instead of metal catalysts to do polymers. And so since Jim like reinvented this field, it was like kind of my hero, right? And so I met him at a conference. I was like, that dude is like amazing, and I gotta work with him.
Everyone here is really pretty bright. Watching them come in and then become independent, very powerful scientists it's a very rewarding thing.
You're thinking about like polymers in the way that you think about fluids, but polymers, a lot of it are hard and they're solid. They have solid behavior, but they also have liquid behavior, and that's what makes them really special. They like to dance between the two realms of liquid and solid. Everything we touch has polymers, everything, like your shoes, like your car tires, to like things you eat, things you put on your face, your soap, everything. The scale of it is so massive.
When I was younger, one of my big things was looking at shampoo bottles. I wanted to know why the bubbles, formed in the way that they did. I wanted to know why it would make my hair shiny and what the difference between shampoo and conditioner was, because they were both things you put on your hair and they had very different purposes. Even when I was really young, I was always very hands-on and took a lot of things apart, for example, around the house, which my parents hated. So I took apart remote controls and put them back together, and batteries and all that kind of stuff. So my mom had this collection of knots that were supposed to be it's like Japanese artwork. I don't know if you've ever seen them, but I used to untangle those. I mean, kind of everything I could get my hands on, I would take apart.
The materials that Jim and Jamie discovered was really a breakthrough in polymer chemistry, because basically those really strong materials, they have a lot of chemical bonds.
Usually when you make very strong materials, you can't actually revert them, so they're not recyclable. So if you think of, for example, the composites that are in airplane tails right now, those can't be recycled. Once the airplane's lifetime is over, then that's going to go to the airplane graveyard, and then it's game over. So this material that we discovered here, actually, because we went into such detail with the chemistry, we were able to figure out a way to undo the bonds that we had made. So we could effectively control the forward process and the reverse process.
It's mind-blowing to work with them and to people who are like this. the fact that they're so creative. You know, they come up with all these ideas and they have a plan to execute it.
Gavin's a computational chemist, and so he thinks about things from more of the theoretical standpoint. He doesn't do chemistry with his hands anymore, and I think that means he thinks incredibly deeply about different problems. He's the person that I went to the most to figure out, you know, the mechanism of the reaction, and we went back and forth on tiny little details of the chemistry. And that is absolutely critical to have someone who's that detail-oriented, you know, as a part of the team. He's also has a huge laugh, big belly laugh. He's, you know, he's a fun guy to hang out with.
You're most creative when you're having fun.
I thought that everyone showed up every day in like business suits and, you know, we're super serious all the time. It's just like not true, obviously. Where I got really into chemistry was actually my first organic chemistry class I ever took. And the reason why I was so interested in that is that molecules were absolutely beautiful. I saw them and there was just this aesthetic to them. I started painting, you know, the objects and the chemical structures, incorporating them into my art pieces that I was doing. So I really did see it as something artistic.
All of us kind of have this way of visualizing or animating the chemistry that we work on. For Mariva, she moves her hand and like things move and like it's dynamic like that, right? But she's also a dancer, and so that's really interesting. I don't think that I explain chemistry in a very logical way. I think I explain chemistry like this. I cook a lot. I don't bake a lot anymore because I'm not a sweets person. Don't tell Mariva, she'll be like, what?
Another stereotype, I'm French, so I love baking. Chemistry and food are really related, and you get the precision when you prepare it, but you can also be like kind of creative and be like, oh, I'm gonna add a little bit of this or a little bit of that, and at the end it's always good because you get something to eat. So I've been dancing since I was 6, so I'm just like, this is like my way of like, you know, getting things out and just like relaxing and expressing myself. It's delicious.
Mariva, so she sings to her reactions in the lab. She dances in the lab. She's just energy, energy, energy all the time.
I think that music, dance, and food are like definitely some stuff where you don't always need to speak the same language, but you can share the same emotions. I mean, I come to my office every day, I open the door, and like what is outside of my window is just like grass and trees.
Oh my gosh, I never take this beauty for granted, ever. I mean, like on the weekends, I go out as much as possible.
It's been amazing to be here.
I like the days where you know you're like on the cusp of figuring something out. Like you don't know what it is that you're about to figure out, but you know you're about to figure something out.
So we'll see.